Hello and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave with Man in the Moon. Today I'm going to channel on Mike Pompeo. And I have to tell you, I hesitate a little bit because the amazing Lena Rodriguez has already channeled on him, and I don't want to be influenced. As you might know, I try not to watch too many readers these days. There's some really good readers emerging right now, and occasionally I do take a peek, but I don't want them to influence what I see. So, just going to do my best here. One thing I like to do is just try to put my ego here on the shelf, right? Just move myself out of the way and take a look. I have been told that I should read on him. It's kind of funny because Mike Pompeo looked like a happy little kid. He's almost like dancing in a circle. It's like I cannot imagine why he would be doing this, but maybe it just means he's gonna kind of come back around and bite Trump. I wonder. So why is Mike Pompeo dancing? Hmm. Well, I see him with a spear. I see Mike Pompeo with a spear. Show me more. Again, I don't want to jump into the idea here. I kind of know what Lena said, so I don't want to jump to any conclusions. So I see him with a spear. Okay. No prejudice. No prejudice here. What's he going to do with the spear? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I just have to confirm what Lena told me. I mean, I see him sending that spear right towards Trump's throat. And it's interesting because it's interesting as a spear because it's kind of from a distance that you throw it and it hits him right here, Trump, right in the chest. And he's kind of smiling when he does it. It's just, again, I mean, yeah, just he's almost like a snake in the grass. He's like one of those people that pretended to support Trump but didn't. I don't know what's going on with that, but I do feel like, again, just to confirm Lena, that he's a turncoat. It's almost like he wanted this to happen. I think he just more sees the way the wind blows. He just he knows, he knows what's good for Pompeo. Mm. Yeah, it's a stepping stone. Trump was a stepping stone. Look, if he turns on Trump right now, he's a hero, right? He could do this in such a subtle way that he says, well, I had no choice. And then he shows up as the Republican who, told the truth, right? So that's exactly how he's thinking. He's just, how is this going to be good for me? Yeah, and you know what? It's just one of those guys that's always been a power hungry little toady. Yeah, he thinks only about himself. And he's such a snake in the grass. He really thinks like that America would go for it. That he would turn Trump in, and then they'd be like, "Oh, great, Pompeo, aren't you the most awesome guy?" And that everybody would forgive him his, sins. And it's just how naive. It's just incredible naive that he thinks that way. Okay, so what is Pompeo actually going to do? Hmm. I see him sitting before the committee. I see him sitting before Schiff. I see him answering questions. I see people being very surprised at the answers. Like people are kind of, mouth open. Hmm. I have to tell you, I wonder if some of the stuff that I saw, which was really, it seemed to be the Mueller report, isn't this right now. If you recall, when I was looking at the Mueller report, there was a little bit of section that it was like Mueller was holding back. I don't think that was Mueller. I think it's the same idea, the same problem. And now it's exploding. And I wonder if the surprise that I'm seeing on the faces of this Congress isn't the same as the surprise I saw during the Mueller report. I mean, It's still shocking. The report should have shocked them. But this seems much more direct. And you know what? Adam Schiff is much more capable of handling this guy. I think that Pompeo might give him up. Pompeo might just go in there and, save his own skin and be the center of attention like Trump likes to be. And, he'll give him up. Mm-hmm. And that will be it. That will be the moment when it's done. Once Pompeo turns on him, once Pompeo starts telling the truth, everybody's going to have to tell the truth, and Trump is no longer defensible, right? If Pompeo is going to say, yeah, we did that, I know what he meant, obviously it's blackmail, duh, if he goes and says that, Trump can't, now again create, oh, I never knew Pompeo, who's he? He can't do that. A lot of the tropes that Trump has tried to do, a lot of the silly arguments that, they kind of work for some people, but they're old. You can't make the same argument, everybody's against me, it's all a coup, again and again and again, and be believed. And I do wonder if Pompeo isn't working with others, and if this wasn't somewhat orchestrated. I see him being sneaky. It might be that he's already told them that he's going to tell the truth, that he's already told the Senate. I think he's talked to some people in the Republican Party, though. That's who it looks like. And he's told them, this is over, and you better back me up, and we get rid of this Trump. And once he spills the beans here, the Senate Republicans can't really come at him personally. He's a member of their tribe, and you can't paint him to be this crazy, wacky liberal guy. So they're neutralized in this. They actually will need to ask relevant questions. So it's not going to be like Lewandowski, right? Actually, in some ways, the Republicans are tougher on Pompeo because he's just spilled the beans and undermined their whole political process. And so they're actually quite angry at him, and they're almost like going to try to pin it on him, which gives them even more reason to turn Trump in. I see Trump's daughter, Ivanka, crying. She's watching the TV, and she just bursts into tears. She's just been expecting the shoe to drop, and here it is. She's burst into tears because she knows what's in store. Interestingly, she's almost like Trump's conscience, the conscience he does not have. She's the one person around Trump. She's the one person who gets it. She kind of knows what's happening. She senses something is deeply wrong. Yeah, I don't know why she showed up, but she doesn't look like she's got a great future. I see her going to a microphone and people booing her. And it has a feeling that she's telling the truth about her father. That's the feeling anyway. So, what could Americans know about Pompeo? What do they need to know? They need to know that he will go to jail, that even if he is a turncoat, he is facing jail. So does that mean is it all of the Senate that he's going to jail? I get that it's a yeah. I think that the Senate might threaten him with actual jail. If he does not come forward and answer their questions, they may well threaten him and say, look, we really are going to put you in the Congress, House of Representatives jail. And in a way, that's good for him, because then it looks like he was forced to speak about something that he didn't want to speak about. The truth is, he couldn't care less about Trump. He cares about his own political future. So he's got to look like the guy that, held up the truth one way or another. but I still get changed. I think long term he will also, go to prison. This was obstruction of justice. And I think that he will be found guilty of obstruction of justice. And it will be the shock of his life. Another one of those guys that's just so arrogant that thinks that nothing can ever happen to him. They think that they're Superman and they can just do whatever they want. And nobody else ever stopped them before as long as they pulled their political change in the right way. So he's going to be in for quite a shock. And also note how Congress people turn on him. The minute he starts opening his mouth, then they will start attacking him personally. So one thing that you'll notice as this moves forward is the Republicans will be starting to eat each other alive. They're already starting to throw each other in front of the bus. It's gonna be a Republican picnic on each other. It's just gonna be absolute cannibalism. Everybody for themselves. They're already fighting. They're already arguing among themselves about what to do. Tensions are running really high in the Republican Party. Certain people are very, very upset. I should say certain Republicans. I've just, sometimes when I just work, I can't remember people's names, but Susan Collins. Susan Collins is specifically upset, and she's really worried. I think she's having a crisis in her own conscience because she realizes that she made a mistake when she supported Kavanaugh. She blew it. On a greater moral level, she did the wrong thing. And I think just Senator Flake is the same way. Those two people should have voted down Kavanaugh. They should have had the moral courage to do it, and they failed. In the case of one person, they're trying to kind of get some credit back. Flake has started talking about the president in negative terms. Collins has been silent, but interior, she's really torn apart. She's really thinking, A, I made the wrong decision, and B, I'm going to lose my job. And not many people are going to like her anymore. Whoa. Okay, look, I get Pompeo taking a knife and hitting himself in the chest. So that means to me that he's gonna he thinks he knows what he's doing and he thinks he's gonna try to get away with something, but it is a disaster. He's completely wrong in terms of how he thinks he can manage it. Now keep in mind, this is a disaster anyway. Anybody facing these charges should consider them very serious, but he's gonna really, stab himself in the chest, if you will. Looks like even multiple times he's going to make multiple, misunderstanding blunders. Yeah, look, everybody, again, I've been saying this for a week. This is it. It is over. Trump is finished. He is now a powerless person. So, go forth in beauty. Understand that, we all collectively were able to change this. This did not happen by accident, right? Universe just didn't accidentally, have this separate file, and somehow it came to light. This was all of our collective consciousnesses asking for justice. And the whistleblower came out of nowhere, came out of nothing. But it is over. They will not rise again. Even if Trump remains a president, he will be totally powerless and he will go to jail. He is in prison as I'm looking at him. Red-faced in prison. He's there behind the prison doors demanding Perrier water and double scoops of ice cream. And it's just like, yeah, right, man, this is prison, You'll understand, really how many people in the world live. It's going to be a big comeuppance for him. So everybody, we're going to get our justice. We will get justice. I know it's been difficult. Here we are. Ask yourself what you learned. What'd you get out of it? How much stronger is America right now? How much stronger are you right now? In the future, when you see somebody doing something wrong, will you now have the courage to calmly approach them and say, no, you cannot do that. That could be just a person on the street. It could also be your boss. It could be the government. It could be anything else. There is a silver lining here, and that is that we have all grown. And you have all stepped up to, consciously or unconsciously, fight some really dark forces on the planet. It wasn't easy. Give yourself a lot of credit for being there. Right? And on that note, thanks for watching.